Oh, shit. Yeah, I never know how to set this up. I get Yeah, can I get this to sit right? Spending the first couple minutes trying to set this up is hilarious. Alright, hold on. Come on. Come on. Oh, shit. Give me 1 second. If I'm talking to anybody right now. Damn camera won't say it. Oh. No. Come on, fam. Alright. What's poppin'? Excuse me. What's poppin' with the population? This is a live episode of Do-Rag with the Cape Rolled. Obviously, I don't got my do-rag on and the cape is not rolled. But I wanted to first start this off with something real plain and simple. Stop calling women females. Like, we just start from there. Now, to go into what this episode is about. It's the idea of performative activism, performative care, just performance altogether. When you consider terms like protect black women, when you consider terms like, listen to black women, everything involving black women, but we don't do those things. When you look at what just recently happened in Virginia with Dr. Serena Frazier being unalived by her wild husband. Oh, what up, Julian? Without being unalived by her ex-husband. When you look at Christina White and Shaneiqua Poe being pew-pewed by the father of their children until he pew-pewed himself and took out 7 of his own children and his nephew. Shaneiqua, I think, she took 9 shots and Christina took 1 to the face. It's rather wild. So this basically is just really about how we continue to fail black women, and that it seems the only time that people actually speak on what happens to black women is when it's too late. And any other time when we're speaking on black women, it just becomes super performative, and we don't sound like we really care. We're just trying to get clicks. So, I mean, I'm not going to say, Shaneiqua and Christina's children's names because I don't want to keep promoting what happened in that sense. Like, the stories it's just a lot, bro. The story is in the description of this episode, where you can find out where you can donate, like, clothes and monies or whatever. There's a GoFundMe for the family as well, for the families as well. But according to the GoFundMe, the people that are running the GoFundMe said that I think Shaneiqa's family doesn't want anything to, like, openly do with it or whatever have you. So they're respecting their wishes, but they're still going to collect money for the family or whatever for like Christina and whatnot and try to get them right. And the daycare center in Louisiana that's accepting donations, whether it be clothes, food, money, she's taking it directly at her address, and like I said, that all of that is in the description of this episode. She was saying, which is something that we also don't think about. She's like, they're gonna need all the help that they can possibly get. Like, these women, house unstable. Their money is low, whatever. Like, and how are you gonna ask people to go back to work? How are you gonna ask people like, oh yeah, after you heal, go back to work? Like, Christina got shot in the face. Like, again, Shaneiqua took 9 shots. Kanisha, I think her name is Kanisha Poe, was is Shaniqua's sister. Her and her daughter hurt themselves jumping off of a roof or whatever to get away from what was going on. So it's been a lot. Obviously, Dr. Serena Frazier, she was unalived by her ex. And then the other person that I have in the thumbnail, because I didn't put Dr. Serena in the thumbnail, but the other person I have in the thumbnail is Aisha Frazier. Aisha Frazier was unalived 8 years ago by her estranged boyfriend. What up, Will? By her estranged boyfriend or husband. I forget. Lance Mason. He stabbed Aisha Frazier 59 times. I put her in the thumbnail not because it's of another tragic, loss of a life of a black woman. I put her in the thumbnail because the issue with Protect Black Women is that it is said by black men, but we don't do enough to actually protect black women. So I put her in the I put Aisha, I put Shaneiqua, I put Christina in the thumbnail as far as the women that need to be protected, because when we say protect black women, we don't protect them, but the women as far as Marsha Fudge is in the thumbnail. She was a politician. What's the other lady's name? Kamala Harris and Tiffany Haynes. Those are the women that get protection. Like, those are the women, like, Kamala Harris was being, Barack Obama was putting a cape on to protect Kamala Harris, telling black men to vote for her. Barack Obama gave a position to gave a Secretary of HUD, housing development or whatever, to Marsha Fudge. Tiffany Haynes is about to run for a Republican position, as a Republican in Georgia for whatever position, but she's protected. She's asking Donald Trump for help. Those are the women that are protected, because those women are suckling at the teat of empire. Those women don't care. So I know everybody know who Kamala Harris is, and some people know who Tiffany Haynes is, but I'll give you a little bit on Marsha Fudge. Marsha Fudge was a former senator in Ohio, in her districts are majority black districts. She was the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. I think in like 2016 or something like that, or 2013. I think it was 2013. She also is directly responsible for Aisha Frazier being stabbed 59 times. Because her being the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, her and her other constituents and other peers, they helped get Lance Mason, the man who took Aisha Frazier's life, out of jail the first time. Because the first time, so this also ties into Dr. Umar, oddly enough. And we'll get there. So, Aisha Frazier was violently attacked by her partner, Lance Mason, who was also a politician. He was a judge. He was becoming a judge, but he was all of these things in Ohio politics. He violently attacked her. Was in jail. I think was in prison, actually. I don't think he was just in jail. I think he ended up in prison. So Aisha Frazier, Marsha Fudge or whatever, and a couple of other people from the Congressional Black Caucus wrote letters of recommendation to get him out, like saying things like, he said he's not that kind of person. Like, I hope he doesn't do. He said he's not going to do something like this again. I hope he doesn't do anything like this again. He deserves a second chance. We should let him out. we want him to also be a judge. Like Marisha Fudge or whatever, she petitioned for him to be a judge. So once Lance got out, not too long after, he took the life of Aisha Frazier and stabbed her 59 times. And Marsha then was like, oh, damn, I didn't know he would have done that. Now, how this ties into Dr. Umar. Remember, I said that this was a politician, Marsha Fudge, from Ohio. Aisha, obviously, from Ohio. All this from Ohio. So, Dr. Umar has a movie, right? His movie that he shot last year, if you don't know about it, just go on YouTube and type in Dr. Umar's movie. It was shot by Marianne Lorient, and she's from Ohio. She also was friends with Aisha Frazier. Her being friends with Aisha Frazier, she took it upon herself to hound Marsha Fudge everywhere she went about the fact that she's the reason her friend died. Almost to the point where, well, no, not almost, to the point where Marsha Fudge ended up getting a restraining order against Marianne Lorient because she felt like she was aggressing towards her too much. Marianne, if I'm not mistaken, tried to get one back on her because she was claiming that she attacked her, and then Marsha was like, "If I would have attacked you, you would have known it." So this is who Marianne was dealing with. So Marianne Lorient, the lady who shot the Dr. Umar movie, is also the person who was on the neck of a politician who wrote a letter to get a black man free, who then subsequently stabbed his partner 59 times to death. So that's how Dr. Umar's involved. He's not obviously literally involved, but just the 6 degrees of separation. So this idea of protect black women. We have somebody, again, like Kamala Harris, where you had, plenty of Roland Martin type. We'll get to Roland in a second, but like the Roland Martins, the Barack Obamas, and all these other folk, the random black dudes you see in a barbershop who not misogynist or whatever, and not practicing misogynoir. They like, oh yeah, we're supposed to vote for Kamala because Kamala this, black women this. She said she's going to end child support. We're going to get houses, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, first of all, no, she wasn't going to do that. Secondly, some of the arguments that people were making were asinine. She's gonna deal with, the hell is this? This is completed W9. Okay, I gotta check what that is. All right. She's gonna deal with the incarceration rate, like the recidivism rate. Because look at the program she had in Cali. And I'm like, yeah, look at the program she had in Cali. If you actually look at the program that happened in California, first of all, you have to plead guilty to get into the program. Then once you get in the program, you can't miss a day or you will go to prison. And also, the numbers of people that actually pass the program to like slow down the recidivism rate is like infinitesimal at best. Like it's not many. Because she didn't do anything. She helped to put a lot of people away in prison. And she also put a lot of people in danger, from sex workers to trans people, to also having a young girl who was in Oakland who was being trafficked by the police. She ended up going to Florida behind it to like get away from the cops. And it was because like Kamala wasn't doing anything about any of that. But protect her though, right? Protect Marsha Fudge, who was the secretary for HUD, who was a senator, who was the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, who had her and her constituents write letters, and her peers write letters to get Lance Mason out of prison. Because, oh no, he's not like that. He wouldn't do anything like that. Never mind that he was only in prison because he violently beat up Aisha Frazier. And she said, oh, nah, he's not like that. To get out, to then take Aisha Frazier's life with 59 stab wounds. To then write a letter like, oh, damn, I didn't know it was like that. And then you have Tiffany Hayden, who, she was a mayor of like 2 situations in Illinois. I think one of them was a suburb. She was just constantly stealing money. She was spending money on all types of, just things that had absolutely nothing to do with her job. For then her to ultimately only speak out about violence or about like bettering the community when her dad got shot. I think he got shot in like Chicago. And she's like, yeah, we got to do something about this crime. And when she got investigated by the feds, she like, I'll have Trump help me get out of this. And now she was a Democrat when she was in Illinois, but now that she's in Georgia, she's in Atlanta or whatever, now she's running as a Republican. And a lot of people where she was the mayor at are just like, well, good luck, Georgia. But see, that woman is protected. She can go out and go do the same shit she was doing in Illinois and Georgia. But Shaneiqua Poe got shot 9 times. Christina Snow got shot in the face. Aisha Frazier got stabbed to death. Dr. Sharina Fairfax was part of a unaliving like event. That this kind of violence is happening so much that they're calling it family annihilation. They're saying, when a partner decides to take out multiple family members at once, that we're going to call this family annihilation. And I even think, honestly, to name it, cool, but ultimately, what are we really doing when you really think about the fact that it's just the result of what masculinity and what being a man is supposed to be sold to us as in the West, right? So, like, even with the talks of the red pill, talks of manosphere, all of that, like, that's just naming what already existed. It's essentially like naming the sun. Like, the sun was here before us. We just happened to name it. Manosphere, red pill, all that shit, that's been around. What the fuck you think pimping is? What do you think having a family across the street from your family is? For instance, even though this is about ladies, I'm going to just speak about Terrell Owens real quick. Terrell Owens' dad, if I'm not mistaken, had a family across the street from Terrell Owens when he was a child. That was commonplace, like, before the internet and shit. Like, it still happens now, but it's harder to get away with. But I say that to say, this manosphere, this red pill, and all this other shit, it's just being a man. Like, I think honestly, the reason why I push back on the term manosphere and red pill is only because it kind of obfuscates, like, the idea of masculinity and being a man in the States. Because then it kind of tells you, like, okay, this is what a man is supposed to be. And this is like, no, you're like, a good human doesn't, like, take the life of people. A good human takes care of his family or her family. A good human is just good to other people. Like, the idea, the identity, the sociogeny of gender is created off the idea of dominion when it comes to what a man is supposed to be. Because again, for instance, with Shamar, with the dude that took the lives of his children and that shot Shaneiqua Poe and shot Christina Snow, and the 8 kids, 7 of their children, and the one that he was a nephew to, he was coming out of the military. It was said by his stepmom that he was saying dangerous things before. Like, he told Shaneiqua, like, if you ever leave me, I'll take you out and the kids and myself. She had a talk with him about it. Shaneiqua, according to her, Shaneiqua thought, just like scoffed it off. Like, nah, he just in his feelings. Christina on Facebook talked about him being, volatile and stuff of that nature. Like, he told that day that he did the act that he did, he called his real mother, if I'm not mistaken, and his stepdad, and told him he was in a dark place. They tried to talk him off the ledge of that. Like, prior to that, he almost tried to unalive himself. and Shaneiqua was there to support him, things of that nature. So now when he does this, now one of the main things, just like when that dude in Virginia that took Serena Fairfax's life, is, oh, they struggling with mental health. We need to do something about that. Like, the way that we talk about mental health is the same way that we talk about protect black women. And that you don't really mean it. You don't care. We just saying it for clicks and shit. Because if you actually gave a fuck about mental health, the military as it exists currently wouldn't exist as it does. Mental health, like healthcare, would be free. There would be no term for free, because why would you even need that to be a thing? You shouldn't have to pay to be alive. Like, there's certain aspects of society that wouldn't exist how they do, or even at all, if you actually cared. So this idea of, oh yeah, Shamal, I think his name was Shamal, suffering from mental health, former military, got arrested for I think a DUI and gun possession or whatever, going through it, saying he's in a dark place, yada, yada, yada. We need to think about these dudes going through mental health. It's like, yeah, okay. But even when we make that argument of, hey, yo, you got to go see that lady, or you got to go, lay on that couch and have them conversations, it minimizes even what psychiatry and all of that is. Like, you're acting like it's just so simple to have somebody call a therapist. It's not. It's not. Right? Especially when you are conditioned to be a man within society, when you're conditioned to be a provider, when you are conditioned to constantly be in the position of dominance. Once those things start to erode, you will eventually implode, and everyone else will face the consequences of that. So you can't possibly deal with the man identity if you don't deal with the sociogeny of gender in and of itself. Because what is a man? And then it comes to what is a human, like Sylvia Winter said. What is human? Like, as far as she was concerned, is concerned, because she's still alive, human is Homo economicus. Like, the way that society looks at humans are some things that produce and consume. That's it. They produce to consume, then die, then move on. Produce, consume, die. Produce, consume, die. Man one, man two type shit. And the man one is supposed to be like the person closest to God and shit of that nature. Like, these identities are kind of tied to like celestial and wild, odd shit, where you can have in your head, I am going to take the life of 7 of my children, my nephew, and I am going to shoot the mothers of my children. And you think that that's okay because you're in a dark place, because the other thing they were saying is that it was going through like financial troubles and things of that nature. Again, in a society where you don't have to think that you have to pay to be alive, that would be something you wouldn't have to worry about. But that is something that does pull a lot of people into dark places. This isn't justifying what that man did in the slightest, but it's also just showing you that you can't go to the leaf of a problem to get to the root. You need to go to the seed, and people don't even start there. So give me one second. Excuse me. So when it comes to situations where we are saying protect black women, the main reason why black women aren't protected is because black men and those who like black women don't protect them. They only will willingly when many of them have daughters, because then that's when they finally understand women are humans. Like, that's when they understand a girl is a human. Which is sick when you think about it. Like, yo, I got daughters, bro. It's like, to even run that terminology, to even run that rhetoric, you are clearly not understanding that you don't see girls, women, femmes, whatever, as humans. So this idea of protecting black women, you are only saying it as a again, way to get clicks and views, way to position oneself in a moral high ground, where it's like there doesn't need to be any moral high ground about not taking somebody's life. Like this whole situation where this man was going through what he was going through, there were signs all over the place about how he was operating. He takes the life of his children, shoots the mothers of his kids. You have people like, damn, like, I can't believe this happened. Like, we need to have a conversation. But nobody really wants to have that conversation. Like, protecting black women starts with deconstructing what the fuck a man is. Like, as far as heterosexual situations, heterosexual relationships. Outside of that, just men dealing with women, period. It starts with deconstructing what a man is. Because what is a man to you, right? Like, why is a man a provider? Where did that come from? Provide what? Because then you be like, oh yeah, because other animals do this. It's like, you do realize in the animal kingdom, we're a part of that. A lot of animals, like the females do a lot of the hunting, a lot of the foraging, and all that other shit. And the females also like toss the males to the side. Like praying mantises kill their partners. So it comes to that point where like, who is selling you on what being a man is? Why do you think it's, oh yeah, I gotta provide? Provide what? What do you have to provide? Outside of love, outside of comfort, as far as somebody being able to come talk to you about what's going on with them, and protection in regards to, you can protect their feelings, and if somebody tries to attack them or whatever have you physically, you can protect them. Everything else outside of that is capitalism based. Because provide what? Provide food. It's not like you foraging or hunting this food. We have to buy it. Okay, provide a roof over their head. It makes absolutely no sense why people can't just have a place to stay. Why there are families living out on the street. Why Shaneiqua, and I know all Shaneiqua, sorry about that. I think our Iranian family and their indigenous values with regards to positive masculinity, as well as our indigenous Abiyala Nation philosophies, have much to say on this regard too. Yeah. Like, as far as hold up, Alchemy. As far as the hell, I just lost my train of thought. Positive alternative to the Euro-originated paradigm of masculinity that we suffer under today. Yeah. So, as far as that idea, the Homo economicus, like that's why being a man makes no sense in the grander scheme of things. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. That's why it makes no sense, because when you think about all of the things that are supposed to make what a man is in what we call the Western hemisphere of this world, but particularly the U.S. I can't really speak for everywhere else. I mean, I lived in Thailand, but the way that dudes and the way that men operated out there was different. It was still masculinity shit involved, but like when you have boys fighting at like 6 years old to provide for their families, it is way different. Like the shit is way different. Like the love that you see some of these little boys and men that have for their families is way different because they have to provide sickly enough at 6. Now granted, Muay Thai is a martial art, but it's also culture. It's a part of Thai culture. And when you peel back the layers of it, you see like how even still is fucked up. Not Thai itself, the art, but like the dynamic of having to provide for your family, like fighting at young ages to provide for your family, because if you don't fight, they don't eat. Which is wild to think. Obviously, that's not every Thai person's experience that fights Thai, but it's been a lot of people's, like a lot of greats. Nevertheless, this idea that Aisha Frazier can be stabbed to death 59 times by Lance Mason, a politician. It feels like boys and men in America are sold the idea that if you don't have whatever is considered to be enough money, then you don't have a reason to live. Exactly. Germ, exactly, to that point. And I was about to get to that. So with Aisha Frazier, who's in the thumbnail next to Shaneiqua and Christina, she, again, lost her life 8 years ago. Her partner, Lance Mason, politician, congressional politician in Ohio, who violently beat her, was sent to jail, and then I think was ultimately in prison, who the head of the Congressional Black Caucus, a woman, and several other politicians wrote letters of recommendation to get him out. They got him out of prison because they said, oh yeah, he wouldn't do nothing. He's better than that. He wouldn't do nothing like that. Again, to then have him come out to then stab her 59 times. To then be like, oh yeah, my bad, I didn't know he was going to do that. To deconstruct that idea of them saying he wouldn't do that again. Yes, he would. So, because he did. But so to the point that to be a man within the Western society is to be violent. Because this whole society was created on violence. So it's to be violent. It is to be a predator. It is to be everything a woman is afraid of. And it's not to say that little boys obviously the parent is gonna identify the child before they identify themselves. So it's not to say that little boys are predators. No. It's to say that little boys are conditioned to be predators. Because our society is conditioned to make us predators. Think about this. Like I said, I live in Ohio. I train at a martial arts gym. A lot of the guys that train at the gym are cops, firefighters, and then just like service workers in regards to like working in warehouses and shit like that. So one of my homies, who happens to be a police officer. So a few days ago, I came in on a conversation where the guys were talking about like a new girl that joined the gym who she had on like short shorts or whatever have you. And he was wondering like, how old are you? And he was like, oh, I think they said she was like 16 or whatever. And from the conversation, he found out that she was Palestinian. And he was like, I wouldn't have expected, her to be dressed like that. I'm like, well, everybody in Palestine isn't Muslim. And also everybody that's Muslim in Palestine isn't like a strict Muslim. And then also, like, why are we caring what this little girl has on? Like that in and of itself is rape culture. Like that. And to the point that I was making about my homeboy that's a cop, we would continue to have that conversation. Because I was like, caring about what women and women, girls, whatever have on is rape. That's rape culture. And he was like, yeah, that's actually how I catch predators a lot of the times. When we take them in to interrogate them, I usually start agreeing with what they're talking about and then catch them in what the fuck they just said. Like, oh yeah, she got on this or that, blah, 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 blah. He was like, yeah, right? She got on that too, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, see, I told you. It's like, yeah, got your dumb ass. What you said? As our indigenous comrades teachers, particularly Dr. Melania Kayazi, from the Red Nation, the white settler male in society regenerates itself and reconstitutes itself through violence, patriarchy. That's a wild conversation to have. She's a wild. Exactly. But her being a whole teenager, it's like dudes having this conversation like my cop friend who's like, yeah, this is how I catch predators by having these kind of talks. That's a spam, particularly dude. It has these kind of talks. They don't realize that you're feeding into the problem because we aren't seeing women as, and shout out to all the 8 people here. Shout out to Alchemy, shout out to Germ, shout out to Steve, Julian Steve, shout out to Will, and whoever else is here. But that's to say, like, we aren't seeing women as humans. Anything in a female body, however anybody perceives themselves, whatever they perceive themselves to be within the female body, we are seeing them as humans. Because why are you questioning what someone has on? Outside of if we're at like a black tie event or we at something where you're supposed to have on a uniform. Other than that, what the fuck do you care? But you only care because you see these women these girls, these femmes, as property. So, Shamar Elkins, going through what he was going through mentally, going through what he was going through financially, took the lives of himself, his 7 children, his nephew, and shot the 2 mothers of his kids because he only saw those people as property. When he told Shaneiqua in the home of his stepmother that if you leave me, I will take your life, my life, and the kids, and she just scoffed it off and the mom was kind of scared, that's because he sees her as property. When the former piece of crap Virginia politician took the life of Dr. Serena Fairfax, it's because he saw her as property. She walks away from him. He no longer owns her. He no longer can prop her up prop her up as a item, as a trophy. Because to a point that my partner, she made about this book that I got to pick up that I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But, and I've said this too, but the way that she broke it down from this lady, I got to find a book. But she essentially saying that men are, as far as how our society operates, men are only doing things to impress other men. They are only doing things to get the nod from other men. And to that point, there's a lot of homoeroticism connected to that. Like, and it is very strange. And it's also wild that the homoeroticism that's connected to that, also at the same time, these same men who are completely on impressing other men are violently homophobic and violently homomistic. Some aren't, but a lot of them are. And this isn't to say that, obviously this isn't to say that dudes, the reason why dudes are impressing other dudes because they like men, because then that's flattening and cheapening somebody's experience within this world and acting like homosexuality is a bad thing, because that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that from what I'm saying and from what that book was saying and from what my partner said that the book was saying, is that men bring around women, they parade women around their friends, they talk about women, they talk about their status in life because they're trying to impress other men. They're trying to put themselves out there as the alpha. And the alpha shit was created by men because wolves don't do that. Like, there is no alpha in the animal kingdom outside of humans creating that for themselves. So even when it comes to this idea that we are the man, that is rape culture. Like, you are projecting and proselytizing this idea that to be a man is to do these certain things when that doesn't make sense. Because it's like, even the arguments with this protecting of black women that people don't protect, when you think about like the WNBA, and you're like, oh yeah, nobody will watch that, blah, 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 those women's sports, blah, blah, blah. It's like, do you realize how underfunded these sports organizations are? And like the sports programs are? Like Title IX does a lot in college for them, but you realize how underfunded they are? Like, this isn't to say that if a top woman athlete were to get the same training as a man, that she would be as strong as a male body, because there are physical differences. But it is to say, you didn't even give the female body a chance. And like, there are a bunch of women that are ridiculously strong. I saw a woman clean and jerk 235 pounds. I can't do that shit. I would break every bone in my body doing that. And if you don't know what a clean and jerk is, just look it up online. It's a Olympic lift. It's where you put the weight on the bar, you pull it from the ground, shift it up, come up under the weight, and then push it, and then like catapult it up into the air. Well, not catapult it because you keep a hold of it. You shoot it up into the air as you jump into like a standing split. You don't fully split, but into a standing split. She did that like 235 pounds. And she could have been no more than like probably like 180, 170. But that's a professional athlete who gets the proper training. So it's to say, like, this caring, this so-called protecting of black women is not actually happening. Like, we're just saying this shit for clicks and views. Because for two mothers to be shot in the face, for Aisha Frazier to be stabbed to death 59 times, for Serena Fairfax to be unalived by her jaded partner, we are caught in this space that these women, these children, are only seen as property. They aren't taken serious as actual people. And them not being seen as actual people is the reason why they can be discarded so easily. And it also ties into the idea and understanding of Homo economicus. All I am meant to do is produce and consume. So if I am able to get a partner, I can produce children with this partner, possibly, and then as they exist in this world, I can consume them by having my partner cook, clean, make sure the kids are okay, blah, blah, blah. I do what I got to do in my man role, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. I can consume by having my kids live out the dreams that I wasn't able to live out, like live vicariously through them. I can consume them. Homo economicus just put into a family dynamic. And it's just this toxic and disgusting understanding of what even human existence is. Because even to think about the fact that Buddy that took the I don't want to call him Buddy, sorry. That the man that took the 7 lives of his children, and then the 8th life being his nephew, and shot the mothers of the children, to think that one of the things that was taking him to a dark place was his finances. Like, that should be, like, obviously attacking the idea of what a man is the overarching, that's the primary contradiction. But the primary contradiction is capitalism. Because if we even peel back the layers even more as far as with their situation, he's in the military. What do a lot of black men do when they are of high school graduation age, because they don't see themselves going to college? They go to the military. The military is a terrorist organization, because what has the U.S. done since its illegal existence? As far as, I mean, illegal not by their laws, I mean illegal by like just humanity. It's been terrorizing places. So when you create a situation where a young man has to figure out what he's going to do next with himself, he goes to the military, he gets indoctrinated there, gets out of the military, still kind of wayward, don't really know what to do with himself, VA probably ain't holding him down. Now he's like, damn, I done created a bunch of lives that I got to take care of. I don't have the protection of the government that I fought for. I also am not making enough money within my family to be able to support my family. Oh, shit. Now I'm frustrated. So I'm going to take it out on who? My wife and my children. Why am I going to take it out on them? Because they are a part of the dynamic that I was supposed to be upholding within being a man. Being a man is being strong. Being strong is going to the military. Being strong is having a large family. Being strong is having a large family and taking care of said large family. Being weak is not having any of those things going correctly for you. Not even not having them, just not having them going correctly for you. That's being weak. So that could play into your mental, where you think it makes sense that you must attack your own loved ones. Hold on, I'm going to read the comments real quick. Yeah, she is strong. And yeah, work machismo is so blended into most male spaces. Yeah. Yes, it's one of the phenomena emanating from the essence of the colonial relationship that new African men, particularly, are embedded within in this set of historical and spatial coordinates. Coordinates. I don't know why I said coordinates. Yes, it's understanding that we are put into a position where, you know how 50 Cent, and that's a good example of somebody who's living as a man, with the idea of get rich or die trying, right? Right. Like, right. Exactly. Get rich or die trying. But to add an addendum to that, and if there's anybody that you have to take care of while you're trying to get rich, take them out with you. So like even that talk of family annihilation, like that term along with red pill, like no, that's just the results of being a man. Now, obviously there are women that have unalived their families and themselves. This isn't to completely pile on to males, those who identify as men. No, this is to call out the perpetrators of it more often than not, and then also the identity that's dangerous. So like when you think about the woman identity, it's not necessarily a adversary of somebody within a female's body's existence. It's only an adversary to their existence when someone is telling them how to be a woman, right? But when you think of a man's identity, the identity of a man, that even when you go off of what a man is and what people tell a man to be, they're both negative. Because what a man is supposed to be a protector, a provider. Right? What does that mean? Is a mother not a protector and a provider? Are you talking about finances? Are you talking about a situation where you're working and she isn't? Are you talking about a situation where women weren't able to have a bank account until the 70s, 1970s? Are you talking about that? Like, that's dangerous because that opens the door for violence. So, the protect black women doesn't hold any fucking weight if black men don't deconstruct what the fuck a man is. Because when I say black men, I'm talking about all men in that the adjective is not informing the noun in this one. The noun is more the problem right now than the adjective. The noun of man is more of a problem. We can talk about what black man is in regards to the whole situation and how all that plays out. For sure, we can. But that's also tied to the sociology of race. Yeah, I feel that hardcore gender identity is premise of violence. Yeah. So, if we don't deconstruct, destroy, and move on to something better, protect black women will never change. Oh yeah, for sure, I know alchemy. But protect black women will never change. Like, it will just constantly become a talking point that we just use for clicks. It's just like the mental health thing. Again, you can't talk about mental health. You can't talk about any of these things because all we're doing is raking up leaves. These are the leaves. We're not even dealing with the branch, which is society. Then we don't even really give a fuck about the root of it, which is also society, or the seed, which is who the fuck is controlling the planting of all of this bullshit. The people that are controlling the planting of all of this bullshit are people that just want control and access. They want to be dominant. And so it makes more sense if I can get the people that I want to control to believe that they also need to control. But not me, control others. Who will I get them to control? Oh, who will I make weak? The person that's standing right next to them. Someone in a female body. A woman. A femme. Whatever have you. So, for Shamar Elkin to take the life of 7 of his children, his nephew, to shoot the mothers of his children, for Lance Mason to take the life of Aisha Frazier by stabbing her 59 times, for the Virginia politician to take the life in his life, and also Shamar took his life, of Serena Fairfax. All of these things are because these men all collectively saw possession. Shamar was freaking out. What do you think about destructing this entire European worldview imposing it? Because, I mean, I talk about it in that 4-hour fucking video about race. Like, the whole thing. That's, like, my main thing. Because it's sociology. Like, the sociology of it all. Like, I haven't read a lot of Fanon, even though I need to read more. I have a lot of his books. But, like, that, Sylvia Winter, like, that main thing. The sociology. If you do not attack what that is, the sociology of race, the sociology of gender, we will never get anywhere. We will just keep making fucking videos and live streams and click to make sure you subscribe. Like, also, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you here, make sure you subscribe. We gonna keep doing this shit. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. This shit is ridiculous. Because we can, again, protect black women is a selling point. Motherfuckers got merch for that. I think that's the root of the problem, person. Yes, it definitely is. Because the European worldview, the West Asian worldview of it all, is because they're the dominant. They have the dominion over society's culture at large. Because culture in and of itself is something formed by personal and interpersonal relationships with your material conditions and with others. But when you consider the dominant being the European culture and the ideologies and the way in which it functions, it's like, yeah. Like, I'll argue this to the death of me. The American Revolution is the longest standing revolution ever. Like, 250 plus years. It's been holding up. But they said that the Bolivarian Revolution is a bad thing. Or that the Iranian Revolution is a bad thing. Like, they aren't allowing, like, the European worldview, the masculinity, all of these things, is not allowing us to actually interact with people from a standpoint of treating people as a person. Like, as men, as those who identify as men, if you are in spaces with the homies and they are like, yo, that little girl, oh, she shouldn't be wearing that, you need to question them. The fuck you mean? Why you mean? You don't even gotta be hostile. Cause like the conversation I had with the homies at the gym, it wasn't even hostile. It was just like, why, like, that doesn't matter. Like, she's a child. And like, it also opened up like how one of my homeboys operates at work to catch predators. Like, oh, I agree with them just to get them to open up more because he realizes, oh my God, this is how these motherfuckers think. They think that it's normal. It's just like the people that are like, oh yeah, we don't want men in girls' bathrooms because blah, 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 blah. It's like, why the fuck are you worrying about somebody taking a piss or shit? Like, what they got to do with you? Like, the fact that you're worrying about what someone has on, the fact that you're worried about who's in the bathroom, that is very predator adjacent, which is a part of the overall the West Asian so-called European worldview of things. The culture in which they created is rape culture. I wonder regarding the paradigm through which manhood and masculinity are understood, what mythology of, I'm guessing you're right more. It's like the idea, again, like I brought up before, the idea of man is the problem. Just like how I brought up in the other video that it's hilarious, I'm getting trolls here and there mad about it. That white is the problem. Like, you can't redeem whiteness because it was never made to be a positive. It was always made to have dominion over others. You just have to be like Steve or Rick or Samantha, like not white Steve. It's the same thing with man. Like, you can't redeem that identity. And I think even that statement right there, how many people who identify as men are willing to just be like, nah, I'm just what my name is. That's what I am. I'm what my mama called me. Because the idea of what a man is supposed to be is fucked. It's been fucked since the inception of the idea. It was never meant to be in harmony with anything. It was always meant to be the dominant. That is why, again, the fucking idea of masculinity, oh, I gotta be the provider. What the fuck does that mean? I have to be the protector. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, because I'm the head of the pack. I'm the alpha. What the fuck does that mean? That don't make no goddamn sense. Like, again, the same men that say all of these things, like as far as like the negative side of things, that say all of these things about doing X, Y, and Z, they talk about alphas and all this other shit. They don't even study the animal kingdom for real. They don't even study lions. Like, Ben Shapiro wrote a book about scavengers and lions. First of all, lions are scavengers. So, what? Like, the fuck are you talking about? But, to that point, because you know you always got to tie in whiteness to this, who loves being lions? It rhymes with miserable. They love talking about lions. They love it. But that's because that's a white military base, which is a part of the overall white supremacist idea that is played out through the white hegemonic bullshit. They love being lions because they're weak. And this isn't to say somebody, obviously you know what I'm saying. And YouTube, I swear to God, if y'all fucking block me again, whatever. But obviously, this is talking about the men that are weak. Talking about the people who deem themselves to be the dominant. Because what up, melanated Haitian? Every single person is just a person, right? All of the other and we're a person because somebody made that word up. All the shit is made up. All of the other things that we choose to represent and be, it's a self-alienating and fundamentally anti-relational kind of identity and a fundamentally auto-destructive. Yeah, exactly. Glad you... Yeah, right. I'm out of the YouTube gulag, yeah. So, every single person is just a person. That sounds like some abominatomically fucking Wu-Tang shit. But I mean, what I'm meaning is like, we have to change the language. There's certain things we have to deconstruct and destroy. So when I say that racism the system of racism globally can only be ended by those racialized as white, I mean that to the fullest. And it only starts with this one simple thing, like I've said thousands of times. Just stop being white. Like, I had somebody online tell me, how can I do that? Easy. Just don't accept being white. Just don't call yourself white. When you see a paper and they be like, what's your race? Or what the fuck Nothing. You can just stop. You can also talk to your family members about being white, about what white is, and why white. What is white? Why white? Start with that, right? That's the only way racism is ended. We can do all the protesting. We can do all of the books, all of the think pieces, all of the study groups, all of the marches, all of the fucking general strikes, all of the strikes, all of the apps. We can do all of that. But if white people don't end racism, we gonna still be right here. And just like what being a man is. If us as black men, us as indigenous men, us as whatever the fuck man you call yourself, if you aren't calling out the homies, if you aren't very loud, I love how they don't even know where to start when responding to exactly. If you don't call out the homies, if you don't say it loud and proud about like why the fuck being a man is fucked up and what this identity is and why we need to stop doing it, then we're just silently I don't even like to say silence because you know they say silence is a form of acceptance and a form of like agreeance or whatever have you. Acceptance, agreeance. You know what the fuck I mean. But like, you are showing you're a coward. Like, I'm doing this video because this shit is like really blowing my mind at the rate. Oh, what up? What up, Anthony? I don't know what you were writing. I'm trying to see. Hold on. Whatever you might have wrote might have got blocked or some shit. Because I see that you corrected and writing tacitly. And I doubt that you just wrote tacitly. Or maybe you was helping me out. I don't know. If you was helping me out, shout out to you. If you wrote something and they blocked it, then damn YouTube. But, oh, got you. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, tacitly. Thank you. Wait, yeah, that's way better. Tacitly, and also tactfully not saying anything. And I say tactful because I say it in the chat all the time. I say it to the homies all the time. Men are afraid of men. Like, men don't want to fight men. Because men know men are dangerous. Think about that. Think about the fact that when we have these conversations, these thousands and thousands of fucking discussions about protecting women, protecting black women in particular, protecting women, right? We talk about, oh yeah, this and the third, blah, 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 blah. We never talk about, hey, we just got to start beating dudes' ass. Like, a lot of the time, a lot of the older stories we hear about, like, I've heard a story from my grandma before. I'm sure a lot of y'all, especially black folk, got stories from the South about, like, family members who are being, assaulted by their partners and how that partner ended up going missing. Like, that used to be a well-known open secret. Where, like, if you were somebody that was putting your hands on somebody's daughter, somebody's kids and shit, sometimes you didn't see tomorrow. Like, and for the sake of YouTube, I'm not advocating that. But if you do want to follow me on Patreon, I'm going to do another live stream. And it's going to be about something in regards to this, but also tying into that performance at, I think it was Coachella or one of them goddamn white things where the dudes, where, I don't know the damn band name, but where they put up a bunch of pictures of people that the U.S. took out to do regime change, and one of the people that they put up was actually very problematic, but nevertheless, more practical. Men understand that they have limitations regarding violence. Exactly. Like, dudes, men collectively don't, and like, just like white people have to end racism, men have to stop being men. White people have to stop being white. That's the first step. Men have to stop being men. That's the first step. Like, I'm only saying I'm a man in regards to just, like, pragmatically speaking, but for the sake of, like, this whole shit that we got going on. But, like, I'm just Andre. I'm just Dre. I'm just that. That's who I am. Like, because, again, identity. Like, identity. Like, the people, Alchemy laughing at that. Like, to that point, like, the people not knowing, like, I am on a lot of block lists on Blue Sky because of white shit. Like, it's a bunch of, I'm on, like, anti-Zionism block lists. I'm on white people block lists. It's hilarious. But I'm on there because I'm just speaking to the fact that you're caught up in a sociological phenomena. You think that your identity is bioscience. And you are allowing yourself to be controlled by that so much so that you are tormenting everyone else. Even if you aren't directly doing it, by you promoting it in such a way that you get frustrated when people talk about it, you're tormenting people. Because if I can say, yo, white people got to end racism. Right. Yo, white people got to end racism. What you mean? What I'm going to be if I'm not white? You'll just be called. Yo, men gotta stop being men so we can stop the violence against women and children. The fuck you mean we gotta stop being, what, you talking about trans shit? No, you could just be Rick. You can call yourself a fucking tree. It don't matter. Like, the point is, the identities that you're connecting yourself to are corrupted. Like, they were, not they're corrupted, sorry. They were never meant to be good. They need more of that Sylvia Winter, you already know. Exactly. They weren't never meant to be good. Like, those identities were never meant to be good. White was always meant to be the dominant, and man was always meant to be the dominant. I remember, actually, a dude brought this up on, I think, Adnan's live stream, where he was kind of tying in, like mysticism and shit in regards to, like, racism, and he was like, I forgot if he was connecting it to actual, like, empirical evidence or, like, any kind of things written out, or if he was just going off of his own opinion of things. But he was basically saying, like, you know how from darker brown skinned people to even white, like we tie melanin to like having powers and all this other shit, and the melanated people and yada yada yada, and how they talked about melanated folk and able body too, yeah, exactly, melanated folk and all across the world, everybody closer to the equator and past it and farthest from it. He was saying that what if, I forget the guy's name that was on the show, but he was like, what if a lot of that, and I mean they did kind of talk about it though. What if a lot of that was due to like white people realizing, like the West Asians realizing like, oh, these dark brown skinned people, we need to capture them and stop them from being as powerful as they are, or blah blah blah, as we perceive them to be, is what I mean. Like obviously, magic is just science unexplained, and science is magic unexplained. I'm not about to be like, yo, we just gotta absorb sunlight. Don't wear sunscreen, cause sun ra. I'm not about to tell you to do no wild shit like that. But what I am saying is like this idea of the jealousy of melanin came from the weirdness of like thinking that melanated people were magical. And when you think about the fact that obviously everything has melanin, just whiter skinned people don't have as much. But like that jealousy when it comes to like tanning, those other sick shit, and then like it kind of makes sense. But I say that to say like to tie this all the way back to protecting black women, and what that really means is like it's fearing something. So like the man identity is fearing the woman identity. It's fearing a female body. It's fearing someone who can create life. Someone who can do as much as you can. Maybe in some regards they can't because of whatever whatever actual physical limitations and or scientific physical limitations or whatever have you. But they can create life and you can't. Yeah, the idea that we global majority people come from places of solar energy, which zones caused by right. But like that is a form of jealousy. Like that you're attacking these women because my best friend, she said this to me and it rings true and it helps me try to fight against the constant urge, and not to say I have the urge, but the way that society is set up for misogyny and misogynoir and the patriarchy. But she said that men only ejaculate, like men only masturbate inside of women. And I was like, damn. Like, she said, yeah, men only masturbate inside of women. And when you think about it like that, it makes even more sense why men really look at their children as possessions and why they are quick to smoke them. Like, it's not just black nationalists who said this. That nigga was it was like the Western Asian, just hoping to give further legs to the terminology. Yeah, she was blunt. Who said this? Blah, blah, blah. To your point, I refer to them as far West Asians, but like it makes the most sense when you think that men only jerk off, masturbate inside of women, because when you factor in how, not even just absentee fathers, but when you factor in how child support is set up, where it's just like, yo, just give money. Like even if situations, like I personally know men who are the primary caregivers and take care of their children. Like the mothers don't want nothing to do with the child. Like they take care of the babies. But in a system of child support, it's set up like, okay, we just take the money from here, give it to the mom, whatever have you. It's only because like, oh yeah, bro, we know you don't really give a fuck about her. Like that's what they're going off of. You just, had a good time and you just made another one of you. Like, but when you look at the idea of men only doing that inside of women, it plays into the idea of them being quick to be able to take their children out, to be able to hurt their kids, to also, if you think about it like that, it also makes understanding why fathers get so irate when their sons are gay. If you think that a man only masturbates inside of a woman and his child is property, then you see, I wouldn't even further. So the context is, she was saying that men don't really like women. Like, a lot of men don't really care about women. You know, a lot of women say it out their mouth, like, men hate women. Like, and that's why, like, that joke, I don't know if you've heard that joke that where I forgot what woman said it, like, date men that like you. And the joke wasn't on women to, like, date better men, but it was on, like, the idea that a lot of men don't actually like the women that they're partners to. So that they're just looking at women as a notch in their belt rather than as an actual partner, as an actual human. Like, that's why they say my girlfriend, my wife, because it's possession. I own you. You aren't anything more than something that I use. So to jerk off, to masturbate inside of a woman is to say that I don't see you as nothing more than a receptacle for something that I need to do to relieve myself. And then now when you tie that into the whole thing about being able to create progeny to sire kids, you're like, oh, okay, if I can make more of me, I can dominate the world with more of me. And then when you tie that into the idea of men, the manly men being mad about their sons being queer or gay or whatever have you, it makes sense because it's like, oh shit, my possession is not doing what I want it to do. Like, it's fucking up the cycle of, like, making more of me. Like, it's, granted, those will be his grandkids, but still, making more of me. Like, I need my bloodline to keep going. Meaning, I just need to be able to see more copies of myself. So basically saying, if a man only sees a woman as a possession, jerks off inside of her, he only sees his kids as sequels. And his grandkids, he sees his kids as sequels, and his grandkids as spinoffs. So it's basically like Marvel. It's like seeing fucking the Avengers Endgame, and then seeing the sequel of that and be like, okay, that's the child, and then seeing like the Loki show, oh, that's your grandkids. Like, it's like you don't see these people as people, you just see them as products. And seeing these people as products makes it so, back to Sylvia Winter, the Homo economicus can keep going. Back to this idea of protecting black women, where you're not really protecting anything but property. This Western worldview does objectify, commodify everything. Exactly. You're only seeing these black women as property. So that's why I put, and I'm gonna keep saying their names, but that's why I put Shaneiqua. I think I pronounced her name right. I pray to God I am. Shaneiqua, Poe, Christina White, and Aisha Frazier in that thumbnail as the women that aren't protected. And the women that are protected are the ones that play into the game. The fucking Marisha Fudge, Kamala Harris, and Tiffany Hayden. 3 politicians, mind you, but all play the game. Marisha Fudge was the fucking head chair she was the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. Kamala Harris was California's AG, was the vice president, ran for president. Tiffany Hayden is running for, I think, mayor or some shit in Atlanta now after getting kicked out of Illinois. Like, yeah, John, they're creating franchises. So, like, the women that we say protect women about, you don't really care to protect them. You care to protect the status quo. This is why Obama can say, yo, if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, like, you got to suck it up. Like, you got to suck it up and vote for Kamala Harris. Like, stop being... He didn't necessarily say stop being misogynist, but he was getting to that. Like, there's a interview of this motherfucker talking about black men needing to vote for Kamala. Because we know better. type shit. It's like you don't care about black women, fam. Kamala doesn't represent black women. Kamala represents the status quo. Because now, the reason why protect black women and protect black women exist is because the enemy of the... I would further posit that this actually degrades the genuine human value of intercourse, even in a recreational frame in a tantric argument about... Yeah, exactly. It does. It does. And that's what she was getting at with the men jerk off inside of women. That there is the love... There's no love lost because there was no love in the first place. And it's like, that's how you condition. Like, to speak on my own life, as a younger man, me and the homies used to always talk about, oh yeah, you know, I was with Shorty, or oh yeah, I'm fucking with her, blah, 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 and the third. Like, talking about the women that you've been with, the women that you gonna be with, like, catcalling women, friends being with multiple, like, having, like, because it wouldn't be considered an orgy because all of the men aren't touching each other. But, like, having a woman have intercourse with multiple men, like, I know dudes who was doing that at young, like, when we was, like, 19, 20. And even early in high school, like, no dudes that were doing shit like that. So it's like, we were not seeing women, girls at the time, to women as other humans. You were seeing them as conquests. So if you see them as a conquest, then doing what you do inside of them, as far as degrading the intimacy, makes even more sense because you don't see love there. You, outside of loving an object, maybe, but you don't see actual genuine human capacity to connect. So that's why, again, protect black women as far as Shaneiqua Poe, Christina Winter, and Aisha Frazier. Aisha Frazier and Serena Fairfax. That, in comparison to protect black women, as far as Kamala Harris, Marisha Fudge, and Tiffany Hayden, this protect black women is more important because the powers that be, I don't like calling them power. The people with the access and control, they play into representation politics because they've created the identity politics that you have to wade the waters with and that you have to deconstruct, reconstruct, be a better person, yada, yada, yada. They put that upon you. The representation politics are just they're not even an offshoot. It's an evolution of the identity politics where the people that are in power, the people that have the access and control, they take people that look like you, that kind of represent situations you might have been in, anecdotally speaking, and they use them for their own good. When their own good is your bad. So they'll put a Kamala Harris in front of you, protect this black woman, but they won't put Serena Fairfax in front of you because what they'll do is have people like Roland Martin be like, yo, I mean, my dude was like a theta beta for theta beta stepper dude. Like, he would never do something like that. Damn, like, I can't believe he did that. Well, like, they'll do that. They'll put those people in front of you because they want you to protect men because men, just like whiteness, is a part of what, class? The status quo. You don't protect women because that's not a part of the status quo. You don't protect children because that's not a part of the status quo. You protect men and you protect you protect men and you protect the whiteness. That's a part of the status quo. So if you're protecting that, like, you're putting yourself in a position to keep being the dominant, like, forevermore, about monogamy and marriage, even without intimacy or intercourse being weighed in contrast. Women are actually very disadvantaged in human interaction, such that women demand patriarchy flexible. Yeah. They're very disadvantaged. I mean, shit, again, women weren't able to have a bank account until, like, the 70s. Like, miscegenation was like illegal for like the 60s. Like, women now still, they're trying to roll back shit now. But it's all, again, because of this whole thing. Like, a great book to read that's a heavy read is To Kill the Black Body, where she makes a bunch of great points. But one of the things she brought up was IVF and, one of the things she brought, Done and None will need you to break that down in layman terms. One of the things she brought up in IVF, she brought up IVF and she brought up like maternity clinics. And she was like, one of the things she brought up was like white men kind of dominate that space in that they're trying to have their seed be not only like some of the, I forgot that this is not only be the, sequels and spin-offs. Not only be the dads, like I said, the whole great replacement theory and blah, 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 blah. But, like, if I'm going to the clinic and giving my whatever, like, making sure that that's going in women, or if I'm impregnating a lady, making sure that's going in women, like, making sure, like, my seed is going everywhere. Like, To Kill a Black Body is very, very depressing. It's a great book. It took me mad long to read. Like, I only gave you like a short overview of it just in regards to like that part of it where she's talking about IVF and paternity clinics and talking about like how white men kind of dominate that space. And it ties in again to the sequels and spinoffs. What the fuck? Why did you have to put it like that? Comment that messed me up, but so true. Yeah, but like this overall idea of protecting black women, it starts with men. If we don't call shit out, if aggressively too, fuck it. This don't mean, look, YouTube already suspended me before, so I'm not about to say it. Again, I do have Patreon. You can follow me on there for free or a fee. I actually have I have a YouTube suspending me fucking membership where it's like $1.50. So it's like $1.50, $3, $5, and $7. So you can sign up for $1.50 because that's just in case I get suspended again. Or you can sign up for free. I don't really care. It's your money, but like just so we have other spaces. But obviously, because it's the internet, we don't really have a space. I'm only online as much as they allow me to be in that sense. Because again, like fucking from when I got suspended, it said that AI and a person went through my material and was like, yeah, suspend them. And then when I sent them a thing like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? And they was like, oh yeah, my bad. So I say all that to say, like, yeah, fuck with me. The idea of protect black women with the women that have been unalived recently, we are only going to mourn these women as individuals and not as a overarching problem. Like, even some of the news coverage is talking about like violence overall and not violence against black women or violence against women, period, but violence against black women. Like, yeah, there is that article, but that article about family annihilation was a while ago, and it talked a lot about like a lot of white families and shit of that nature, and them unaliving their families and shit. But like, the reason why protect women overall, but the reason why protect black women is so much more polarizing is because African people in this colony are made to be the polarizing figures because society at large has put us under the fucking microscope at all times. So being there, we are paraded as the example of everything bad and of everything entertaining. And everything bad is entertaining, which is sad. And it's not the fault of us. It's not the fault of Shaneiqua. It's not the fault of Shaneiqua, sorry. It's not the fault of Shaneiqua. It's not the fault of Christina. It's not the fault of Aisha. It's not the fault of Serena. It's not the fault of any of these women that they are made to be individuals in this. It's the fault of society at large, the status quo. Like, the status quo is man. The status quo is white. If you do not end the status quo, none of this will ever change. Like, I'm going to give this live like 6 more minutes because I've been talking for a while now. I got to go to the goddamn gym. But if we don't, as men, however you want to identify yourself, if we don't do our damnedest, like, just like I said, white people need to go talk to their family members about ending racism and like kind of chill on volunteering and wearing do-rags and dancing in classrooms like fucking Dangerous Minds, like kind of chill on that and go talk to their white family members. Men need to have open conversations about this shit, because the one thing men are going to do, they're going to talk about women at some point in the day. You don't even really got to bring up women. A man going to talk about a woman. That's one thing that's going to happen. Bring that up, like, break shit down. Tell men why being a man is fucked up. Why the patriarchy is fucked up. Why misogyny is fucked up. Why misogyny is fucked up. Why the status quo is fucked up. Why there is absolutely no redeeming this because it was made to be this way. Why you need to just not be white no more. Just be Carl. Not be a man no more. Just be Steve. Like, you don't have to agree to these things. Like, appropriating the terms doesn't even serve us anymore. Like, we don't need to do the, oh yeah, like, I'm a man, but I'm this kind of man. Or I'm white, but I'm this kind of white. Like, nah. We don't need that noun anymore. We don't need that adjective anymore. Like, white man, the noun and the adjective and the noun both need to go. Because it's just identity. It's just sociology. It's a sociogeny. Again, sociogeny is a sociological phenomenon. To be a man is a sociological phenomenon. To be white is a sociological phenomenon. To claim, protect black women, that is a part of the sociological phenomenon. Because what are you protecting them from? Right? What are you protecting them from? We don't ever have that conversation. We have it kind of lightly and loosely, but we never really sit back and be like, protect black women from what? Protect the kids from what? From who? From why? What the fuck is going on that we got to protect them? What's going on? What aren't we allowing ourselves to get rid of? Because holding on to the sociogeny of race and of gender is more harmful than it is helpful. So when you say protect black women, and Aisha Frazier is violently beat by her by her senator partner, and then the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, a black woman, writes a letter of recommendation along with several other politicians to get him out of prison because they said, oh yeah, he's such a nice guy, for then him to take her life by stabbing her 59 times. Which black woman in that scenario is protected? And from what are they protected from? Seems like Marisha Fudge is protected from any accountability because she just said, oh, my bad. And Marion Lorient, who made the Dr. Umar movie, who was hounding her down about being the reason why Aisha got killed, she gets thrown to the side and like, I don't think her, I don't think Marianne's, because I think they both got restraining orders on each other. I don't think Marianne's actually went through. So Marianne wasn't protected. And Marianne was actively defending. Like, Marianne Lorient was actively defending a friend of hers who was unalived by a politician friend of Marisha Fudge, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. Who is the Congressional Black Caucus protecting us from? Who was Shaneiqua and Christina? Who were they being protected from? Who was the Shamar being protected from? Shamar, as the man that took the lives of his 7 children and shot both of the mothers of his kids, what was he being protected from? It wasn't accountability. He was being protected from the idea that he should not be a man anymore, and that he should really not even know. Oh yeah, he should have sought out help and blah 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 blah. It's like, again, to the point I was making earlier, when it comes to therapy and all that, you don't just that doesn't just happen. Like, it takes a lot to do that. And this is, again, not to defend anything that he did, but it's to just show how we are quick to attack the leaves and rake them up, but we don't deal with the branch, we don't deal with the root, and we damn sure don't deal with who planted the tree. So he was embraced by being a man. The Fairfax piece of shit dude was embraced by being a man. You have fucking Roland Martin defending this man that took his life and Serena's life in a MS, because YouTube might suspend me. You have all of these women. Who are they being protected from? I want you to mull that over. And again, if you identify as a man, or if you're in spaces with men and you hear them start talking about women, or you just want to start talking about women, tell them that the man identity is the issue. It is not a girl wearing short shorts. It is not a woman working a full-time job and not being able to be at home to cook you meals. It is not a woman having an opinion. It is not child support. It is not divorce papers. When you say protect black women, finish that sentence with "from men." I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I don't have my do-rag on, but make sure you keep your cape rolled. All right, peace.